Dreamhaven Studios is announcing layoffs, and the information coming out of this is actually more interesting than the surface would indicate. This comes to us from Grums on X. He says, Dreamhaven announces layoffs, have partnered with Amir Satvat to help find new jobs. Yes, that Amir Satvat. This is the Amir Satvat, the guy that showed up on the Game Awards, this guy right here. Do you remember this guy here? And he was just appearing as the humble, oh, I'm just a random dude in my house that's just trying to help people in the game industry get a job. This guy is a business development director at Tencent Games. But they didn't say anything about Tencent Games when he was up there. They just showed the humble guy in his house, in his home office, being like, oh, I'm just trying to get these people jobs in the industry. Meanwhile, very, very curious networking behind the scenes that should have a lot of people concerned and raising eyebrows with the connections behind the scenes. This comes to us from Mike Morhaime, the co-founder and CEO at Dreamhaven. And he said, today, I want to share some difficult news. We made the hard decision to reduce the size of our company with the primary impact on our publishing group. These choices are never easy, M-. They affect talented colleagues who have played a key role in building Dreamhaven's foundation and supporting what has been an eventful year for us. Now, before I even go too far on this, I want to focus on Dreamhaven Studios itself, because when I heard the news for this, I'm like, Dreamhaven, what the hell games do they even make? I looked through it and I'm just like, I'm not familiar with any of these games, like at all. And it seems like they have like a lot of people working there and a lot of money being put into the games. And I'm like, they look like, I don't know, mobile shovelware kind of style games. And I don't know anything beyond that. Maybe there's more to it than that, but that is my experience with them. So I was like, yeah, this isn't surprising. The only thing that's surprising is that they are big enough to have mass layoffs. From organizing the Dreamhaven showcase to helping launch 3 games, every person at Dreamhaven has contributed to sharing our games with the world. I'm deeply grateful for the creativity, dedication, and hard work of the teammates we are parting ways with. They will be truly missed. We recognize that this comes at a time when far too many in our industry are facing similar challenges. To support our colleagues in their next steps, we've provided separation packages and benefits coverage and partnered with Amir Satvat's games community to connect them with career transition resources and mentorship. Now, when I read this earlier, I'm just like, well, this is exactly the problem with the game industry at large. It's actually the self-fulfilling prophecy of nepotism, bringing the same people in that you know over and over and over again and bringing them from failed studio to failed studio and just rotting the industry from the inside out because it's not actually talented people. Sometimes it is, but by and large, there's so much bloat in the industry that people are being let go and they may not necessarily need to be coming back in. And there's not like a big hurdle to get back into the game industry once you've gotten into it. That's a massive red flag and something that would be concerning to me if I owned a game company. I'd be like, okay, what exactly did you do there? What were you working on? What did you actually do? What did you contribute? What's your work folder? What's your portfolio look like? And again, maybe they're fantastic. Maybe they're really talented people. But I think it speaks to a much larger issue going on in the game industry that I spoke about the other day, where it's like the bloat of the industry is collapsing on itself, specifically now in the AAA games industry, but not limited to. Looking ahead, our mission remains unchanged, bringing players together through positive and meaningful experiences. Wildgate, Sunderfolk, Linked, and Mechabellum each reflect that vision. And we are committed to supporting these games and the communities forming around them. Again, maybe those are fun games. I don't know anything about them. And I live in this world. Never heard of any of those 4 games. To everyone who continues to support us, thank you. While today's news is hard, I remain optimistic about Dreamhaven's future and the experiences still to come. And we have Madam Savvy representing. A reminder, Amir is a Tencent acquisition guy who is part of the food chain that leads to layoffs. What they do is give him a list of unemployables to infiltrate their targets and play a waiting game. Now, the funny thing about this is I did not see her response until right now. And I'm like, damn, that's basically what I just said about Amir. She just said it much, much more succinctly than I did. That's exactly what he does. That should be very concerning. It's like a cancer rotting away at companies. This pipeline is proof that the CCP has a role in pushing wokeness on Western studios to deliberately tank them, then acquire or replace them. Yep. Let's see. Just take a look at their socials pages. It's like woke central. It's nothing reminiscent of Blizzard's glory days. And I brought this up here just I've not watched this yet, but I thought this was curious. This was shared with me privately. It's Dreamhaven's Morhaime on creating games that connect and the next hit. This was 10 months ago with Jason Schreier of Bloomberg. So let's listen in to see what he has to say about crafting games that connect 10 months ago and what went wrong.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us here at Screen Time. This is all very exciting. Exciting day for you guys, you and your new-ish game studio, Dreamhaven. You guys just announced a new game.
We did, yeah. This is the first time we've been able to talk about the stuff we've been working on internally.
How long have you been working on this one now?
This is so awkward and so cringe already, by the way.
About 4 years.
4 years in the making. And do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so...
it's such a forced interview. So do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
This one is a little bit different. It's called Sunderfolk. It's really inspired by Secret Door's love for tabletop games and tabletop RPGs in particular. Mm-hmm. And so, when you think about gathering around with your friends and the feeling of togetherness you have around the board game table, that's something we kind of wanted to capture in this world where we're all kind of disconnected and, separated by...
I gotta be honest, and maybe I'm being very flippant here. I'm watching the game behind them while he's talking, and I'm like, this looks like any other generic mobile free-to-play game I've ever seen in my life. What makes this different? What makes this special? Maybe it's good, by the way. But I'm saying, as someone that just sees it for the first time, like, yeah, I don't care about this. Why should I care about this?
Virtual wires and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. We wanted to give people a way to gather in their living room and kind of reimagine game night. Also, when you think about these games, a lot of them come with thick manuals and a lot of setup time that kind of really is a barrier to entry for a lot of people, including ourselves, because it really takes a lot of time to do that. And
2 hours setup. Yep.
Also self-select out from a lot of our friends and family that we just know don't have the patience for that sort of thing. But there's really a magic that these types of games have. And so
this is all marketing PR fluff bullshit, by the way. As we know, we fast forward 10 months forward and they're laying off a bunch of staff. They're saying all the right things. They're like, oh, this is what people want. This is bringing people together, giving people that vibe. This is what we're making the next big thing that they want. It's like, no, you're not. You're literally just making a game. What is special? Why should I care about this? They can never answer that question. Oh, we do a very unique mechanic here that no other game has done before. we venture into a new area, or we improve on what a game has done before to make it even better. Here's what this game does in particular on a buying proposition for you, the consumer. Instead of, yeah, we just want to get the board game nights the way they used to be. And I'm like, there's like a zillion games that do that. What's special about you?
We wanted to use technology, the personal screen that we all have in our pockets, and a main shared screen that can kind of act as the shared the board or the table. And so I think we've hit on something that's kind of a really nice, easy way to ease people into this type of game, and maybe even give tools to lovers of this genre to be able to share it with people that wouldn't ordinarily be able to.
So
this is a reason why this setup never works. The game developers are not public facing people. Typically, they sit at a computer screen all day. They don't talk to people at all. The game quote unquote journalists like Jason Schreier sit behind a computer screen and write stuff all day. So when you put them on stage to talk to each other, it's just so cringe. It's so awkward. This is not for them to do this. They're trying to be authentic, but it's actually to their detriment, because they're talking about what's important to them, not what's actually important to people that want to play games. But I want to speak to that just for a second, and we'll leave it at this. This is Chalk, presented by Disneyland. Gamers for Chalk. Gamers for Chalk. Welcome to Gamers for Chalk. We are an industry-specific initiative to raise funds for Children's Hospital of Orange County. Since 2020, the gaming community has rallied together in fundraisers and walks to celebrate the Chalk Walk. Okay. All the participating studios here, which is great. This is a really good thing. Represent Chalk Walk. Okay. Very cool. I thought this was curious. Amir Satvat's gaming community, Friends of Dreamhaven, is down here on the list with the most. I find it curious that they're partnering with him, and we have the established connection behind the scenes here. And they're the two top donators to the Chalk Walk. And it makes you wonder again, the behind the scenes connections that these companies have with the people in the industry, and what leads to the continued nepotism that carries on moving forward. And again, I look at this Amir Satvat guy. He is on LinkedIn. He writes a book every time he makes a post, and he always gets the rah-rah cheerleaders and the responses on everything. And I read many of them, and it's so cringy. It's so painful, how fake all of it is. That none of these people actually play games or give a shit about games. This guy, I am convinced, after all my research that I've been doing, and how it was very sneaky with the Game Awards not to say anything about his connection to Tencent during that this guy is a snake in the grass looking to destroy companies in the West for China to perhaps maybe either have less competition or take on the competition for a much lower price and bring them in under Tencent. And if you think of it like that, it makes perfect sense. And it's pretty ironic that we have another situation here where a studio, this time Dreamhaven, going through mass layoffs at their company, partners with Amir Satvat. It's very curious. Makes you wonder. But I will leave that one there.